Hey, you tours. I know y'all saw part one, part two. This is part three. And as I was saying, everybody joining gangs, man. But to me, man, it just wasn't my thing because I like to stud on my own. I die alone and I defend myself alone. I ain't scared of anybody. I mean, fight, fighting over gangs is just fighting over dumb motherfuckers, fight over dumb stuff, man. And it's crazy because I got more things better to do instead of joining a gang. I mean, it's crazy. And that's what kills a lot of community in the first place, all because they stuck on this stupidity. But people don't care. They're going to do what they want. That's just how it is. But after I say to this, man, that, I mean, look at, for instance, I know I said about New York, but look at California. California, man, there's so much gangs up in there. It's ridiculous. And there's a tension between going on between blacks and Mexicans. I don't know how this stuff got started, but some people say it got started with prison gangs with the Mexican mafia and the black guerrilla family. I don't know, over some dumb shit, man. Fuck all that. These two men just ridiculous. I mean, come on. And I know they working together inside the prisons. I know they have. But before I'm gonna say something else, man. Because I will go off on this. It's stupidity, man. That's all it is, man. It's a lot of times that some people just and some kids look up to gangs. They look up to gangster pimps and drug dealers and all the whole nine. And when especially when you come from the hood, you look up to that. You don't look up to doctors and lawyers and presidents and judges. You don't look up to those things. You look up a guy that you know around in the neighborhood and like, damn. And when you see them fly girls and fly cars and money and damn, you be thinking, man, I want to have those things. It might look pressure and honorable, but it's not worth it because instead of looking those glorious of the glamour lifestyle can be turned awful red paint ain't blood, man. It's not worth it because I will tell people, man, find something else that you can apply to do, man. But there's so much things out there in the world which is ridiculous. I mean, look at Tookie Williams. Tookie Williams was the original starting all this whole the Crips. I don't know who started the Bloods, but give me your comments and give me your response in the email and tell me who started with the Bloods. I already know who started the Crips, but who started the Bloods because some people say it was someone who started the Bloods. I don't know what the names. But when Tookie Williams came in the scene in the early 70s, ever since the Black Panthers was dying off, when the Black Panthers dying off, it was all about revolution, organized, stick for the people, especially for the black community, was fighting, human rights and lunch programs and fighting on, and self protect themselves and bring some dignity and also fighting police brutality. And Black Panthers, everybody was idolate them and they look up to them. There was Black Panthers in California. There was Black Panthers in New York. There was Black Panthers in Los Angeles. There's Black Panthers anywhere. A lot of people associate it with the Black Panthers, but they wasn't no. People look at Black Panthers was a gang. I'm gonna tell you right now, Black Panthers are not a gang. It seemed like a gang, but they a gang elite. They was a gang elite trying to make it better for the black community, black people, for you and me, man. I mean, that was coming up to the early 70s. But they would die it out because everybody knows what happened to the Black Panthers. Ever since the movie came out, Jerry Lee Hoover was responsible for all that, for the Black Panther, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. Some people believe that Huey Newton and Frank Hampton, he was responsible for those things, and those two guys were murdered. And Frank Hampton, he was involved with something, stopping a speeding a drug or something. They just stopped the guy. I just saw the movie The Panther, and even my brother loved that movie so much. But that was a true story. It really did happen, and the government was afraid of the Panthers. They were afraid of them because they was a fear of the movement they had. But then when they died out, that's when the gang came in. That's when the Crips and Bloods came in. In the late '70s, that's when the Crips came out. They started doing the Black Panthers do. Instead of defending themselves, that's when they carrying bats and sticks and knives and all this stuff. It wasn't that many gunfire then. And when Tookie Williams came in the scene later, but it was Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson was the one who started all that, who started from the Crips before Tookie. They both did it together. And when Robert Johnson got shot and murdered, that's when Tookie would start taking in. When all this and that was took over and take it, nobody didn't fuck with Tookie. Tookie was a triple OG gangster. He got a connection like that. But then when he went to prison for shooting for 7-Eleven and organized the hit and let people do the hit, so he went to prison for life. And then a couple years later, from the '80s or something, when crack epidemic and all that stuff was breaking up families and all that. I can go on and on. It was in New York City. It was in California. He was in here in Dallas, in Houston. I remember those things, man. And even Club 54 was shut down because the crack epidemic. It break up women and break up women used to sell babies in order to get that stuff. And it break up mostly the black, mostly our brothers and sisters. But everybody else, other people, man, they get less than charge. The rich white men and white women, and they get less than charge for like 2 months and 2 days. But the rest of black men and black women, and Latino man, Latino woman, they got more years of charge, which it was unfairly. But some people believe that even afterwards, Tookie Williams went to prison when Rick Ross hit the scene later in the '90s was doing drugs and all this and that. He never associated with him, but he was selling drugs to the gang and all this and all that. As a matter of fact, see my favorite list and you see Rick Ross, the real Ricky Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross. He was telling how he was always got started with drugs and stuff. He can't even count money. He had so much money it was ridiculous. But when he got down, when he was being betrayed by CIA cartels, they betrayed him like that, and he was being publicized in the media, and they're making a cover up. Some people believe that the agents of the government have a part of the drug lay on, and especially the Los Angeles. I don't know. It was so much controversy. It was ridiculous. And the one who's posed the truth, the man, I forgot what this man. He was a white man. He was got murdered over conspiracy, man. No one knows what really happened. I'm telling you like this though. Whoever put them drugs in the community need to be in prison or jail or even worse. But it ain't going nowhere. But as I'm saying to this, man, don't join no gangs, man. Always stood about your own, stood up for yourself, and hold your ground, man. Because you will get pimped out in the system. You can. But anyone who will see about this message, well, you're on your own. So hard to say about that. I mean, look at the Bill Meek. The Black Mafia family. Look at those guys. Those guys from Atlanta. Everybody knows who BMF. That's what I'm saying. Not BME. BMF. The Black Mafia family. And Big Meech and all the rest of them. Well, Big Meech, they say he had 200,000 of cocaine, man. Just amounts of money. It was just this stacking so big, man. It's ridiculous, man. This guy, I think he went to prison for 200 years. No, I mean not 200 years, but for 14 years to 10 years for assault for some legalized, unlegalized drugs that's been selling off the way from Houston to Dallas to New York to New Orleans. It was going on. Big Meech was a big name that everybody in the hip hop game. Everybody knows who Big Meech is. And I never heard of those guys. I was looking at their videos, but I never think they was involved with the drug cases. I mean, it's crazy. I always thought they was talented, they had something. I mean, when you see a couple of videos and all that, man. But everybody heard of their story. Even and when their book come out, I never get the chance to read a book because Even Jake the Jeweler went to prison for a very long time, man. And it's sad about Jake the Jeweler was involved with this stuff. I mean, damn. And after when Big Meech went to prison, everybody mentioned Big Meech's name. Even the Ricky Ross, the rapper. When he mentioned his name, everybody chanted that. Everybody chanted, I'm 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 Big Meech. Hallelujah. You know how it's always guys that look up to drug dealers, look up to gangsters, look up to thugs and pimps, and then they put that in their song, and they'll display it on their characters and especially on their stories. And knowing it don't happen like that to them, but it happened in anybody else's story. And a lot of people imitate that, and I just think that's stupid, man. Why you want to imitate what somebody did years ago, and after that, and you imitate the same stories again to make it seem like it's cool to be a drug dealer, it's cool to be a gangster, it's cool to be a thug. No, it's not. I would tell kids, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a teacher, be a president. But see, we being so brainwashed that if anybody being a doctor or teacher, that's it, or being white. For some reason, I didn't never hear that stuff when they said Malcolm X and Martin Luther King say that stuff when you were right back in the '60s. They would not say that. They would not dare. But see, they being brainwashed by other people from other communities to get people to believe successful, accomplished things in life don't get you anywhere. Accomplishing in life will get you anywhere than better than this. And I know y'all saw part one, part two, and this is part three. Stay right on to part four because we got way more to go to Eddie. Way more to go. Stay down on to right. Stay right on to. Don't go anywhere now. I'm gonna be right back on y'all. Stay right on to.